I am Cesar Nammour. I am a retired industrialist. I've retired 20 years ago, but I've always, all my life, I was interested in art. When I was around 20 years old, I went to AUB, the American University of Beirut, and it happened at that time that I got to know some of the top artists at that time. And so I started following their exhibitions and collecting, buying from their exhibitions. The market at that time was not really a big market for art. And so buying from local artists, Lebanese artists in the 50s was not really a big market. So I got to know a lot of artists from that time. And I started following their work. Would you like to?
I joined in when Beirut was designated World Book Capital. We organized a festival of Lebanese art books, and we had a table filled with catalogs of exhibitions, and people were amazed and loved it. So after that, we decided to open a public library, recto verso, and we started a database in which we put all the books published on Lebanese art, and we hope to have it soon online, because archiving is very important, and books are important, because without a book, no history. And the Lebanese, they tend to forget. They live from one moment to the other. So I think it's a very important task, or our mission, to preserve art, the memory of art in Lebanon.
During the war, there was some kind of lack of communication with what is happening in the Arab world. So I worked more, I focused on Lebanese art, and since then I'm still focusing on Lebanese art because nobody else besides me is working in this field. And I'm lucky that with Gabriela, we collected 1,450 books about art in Lebanon. And through my archives of the 50s, we made an archive of the artists and the old galleries that were done from the 50s until now and closed. There's around 140 galleries in this category, which we are reviving their memory, and through this, partially, is rebuilding the history of art at that period. When the war started in 1975, there was no connection anymore with the Arab art field. And so here where I started focusing on Lebanese art. Now after the war, we don't have much of connection with most of the artists that have exhibited before. You know, in the 60s, we exhibited from Sudan, from Kuwait, from Iraq for sure, and Syria.
It was the center of art in the 60s, Lebanon.
So, yeah, in the 60s and at the first part of the 70s. But then the connection was, and here we are trying to fill up the gap of memory that our new generation don't know anything about. I mean, the artists here in Maqam, for example, we exhibit works by around 115 artists. Most of them, the new generation don't know anything about. Even the old generation, they were not in it, and people forget. And here we are trying to revive the memory of art, retain it, conserve it, and keep it for the coming generations.
We receive a lot of schools And it's heartwarming to see the children, in this atmosphere. First, these artworks, and they are outside in this beautiful nature. They do workshops, and it's so really fulfilling to see how children enjoy and express themselves freely.
We are basically an education museum. Besides archiving and reviving memory, it is bringing art to the new generation. And that's why the composition of the museum is done in a way to be educational for children. It is unusual for a museum to have its permanent exhibition displayed in the way we are doing it. We are doing it because of our educational purpose. And maybe some people criticize it, that it is overcrowded. We exhibit so much, but it is our aim is to bring as much as we can to the children who visit us. Well, the Maqam now is 4 years old. We have passed a certain phase of our life, of its life, where it has been emphasizing its foundations as an archive, a research center, an archiving center, and an educational museum for children. In this phase, we are working very heavily on programs for children to introduce them to Lebanese art. We have 3 programs we are working on. A school, when they come to us, we give them a certain work to do for the students before they come. And then when they come here during the tour, they have also to ask questions, and after, so that they can grasp more what they are seeing, not just going around. And then we have the workshop, which will bring out their talent. It's an experience to have a workshop in a museum. And then we have a program also, a post tour. In their classes after the tour, they have certain things to work on. This will be our climax of working as an educational institution for children. With this phase completed, we have to start making connections with other museums, and we want to make more connections with artists, bring them to us, and working together at Maqam. We are building the facilities for that. We are creating a guest house. Now it can take 5 people. Eventually it will have around 9 to 10 people at one time, where they will be in one building, and space, a lot of space for workshops and meetings together. Actually, Artist Residence is very new in Lebanon. It has been starting now barely a couple of years. The institutions that are doing it are getting grants from international and local institutions to be able to do that. We at Maqam, we have not received any donations until now from any institution. We are on our own. Artists trust us, and we receive a lot of donations of art pieces, because we don't deal in any commercial dealings. We don't sell art. So we receive a lot of donations as art, but not as donations. With the Artists in Residence, we hope to receive some help to complete the place, and we start then receiving artists. Now with this new trend of artists in residence. I think now communication is getting into the field, and this is very healthy because especially that we have a lot of artists from abroad, not only Lebanese artists. So there is this exchange, this very healthy exchange.
May I add something? You know, the Lebanese, they are all over the world. You have Lebanese in Australia, you have Lebanese in Africa, in their families. So from that already, it's very international here. And there is a great exchange and dialogue. And as you can see in the Biennale in Venice, there are many Lebanese artists present there. And we are having in September, we have the first international contemporary art exhibition here in Makam. We are very excited about it, and we will have about 20 different nationalities participating.
Actually, we'll be having around 40 artists of 21 nationalities. Yeah, so this is the first exhibition of this type in Lebanon, especially in contemporary art. Yeah, we are the first contemporary art museum in Lebanon. There is another museum in Lebanon, but it's more modern.